How's it going, everybody? BTC Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. 114 billion and a half in US Treasuries dumped by China and new BRICS member Saudi Arabia. China trimmed its US Treasury holdings to 835.4 billion, a decrease of 103.4 billion in just 12 months. The BRICS member Saudi Arabia reduced their holdings of US debt by 11.1 billion over the same period to 108.1 billion. It's not all doom and gloom for us though there, as India did accumulate 26.6 billion worth of US debt securities, and the United Emirates and Brazil added 25.1 billion and 1.3 billion respectively. So some nations are picking up, while others are dumping. We're going to have to watch, because this could mean de-dollarization, which could hurt us in the long term. Ripple files opposition to SEC's motion to certify interlocutory appeal of XRP ruling. So this article won't let me highlight, but the SEC is trying to fight Angela Torres's ruling regarding the programmatic offers and sales of XRP over the trading platforms. In Friday's court ruling, Ripple argued that the exceptional circumstances required for interlocutory appeal are absent. Firstly, the crypto firm's lawyers claimed, contrary to the SEC's assertion that the court's summary judgment order does not present a controlling question of law sustainable for interlocutory appeal. Secondly, they argued that the supposed substantial ground for disagreement is merely the SEC's dissatisfaction with the court's application of the Howey test to most of the defendants' transactions in XRP or how they got it or used XRP. John Deaton, the attorney representing the XRP token holder community, is confident there will not be a settlement announcement with the US SEC, and this is because the settlement can only be triggered if there are huge developments in the Coinbase vs. SEC lawsuit, which is likely going to take several months for anything to even come in that lawsuit. So onto the charts. If you haven't noticed already, things are moved around. I don't know if you can see it. I think the printer's kind of in the background here. We're going to have that probably running tomorrow. Just got everything set up. Going to have some changes made. So bear with us as things change, but a little more space here. Stochastic's pushing down. RSI is coming down. The VWAP is coming down. The momentum's coming out, and the money flow is coming out. Over on the 4 hour, we are kind of flagging here. We do have a possibility for an ascending triangle, so that could pump us for another retest, at which point if we break into this pattern we could push higher. However, if that retest fails and flops over, we could push lower and see this full breakdown. Over on Bitcoin dominance, that was for our total, which is everything besides Ethereum and Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance, we are overall heading back up with higher lows currently. We have lower highs too, so that is somewhat of a symmetrical triangle technically. We could end up seeing that push us down or above, as they're 50-50 patterns. We'll have to see if one actually forms more decently. This wouldn't be like a textbook, it's just how they form. You have lower highs and higher lows, which is usually how symmetrical triangles form. Stochastic is heading up, RSI is coming up, our VWAP is coming up, our money flow is heading up, and our momentum's trying to come up as our VWAP's trying to break neutral. If the VWAP can break through that neutral with tomorrow's candle, we could get a bullish rise, and the money flow could flip bullish as well. We're going to have to watch for both those things to happen and to pump up. Over on Bitcoin futures, we do have that slight little gap. We are slightly pushing up today, so we could fill that gap, possibly get a rejection afterwards, so watch out. But if we do fill that gap and keep moving, we could fill our other gap at 29K. If we fill that 29K gap and don't get rejected from there, then it would be possible to fill a higher gap. Our stochastic is heading down, our size overall trending out. Our VWAP is breaking that neutral zone, our money flows in a bearish trend, and our momentum is coming down with a red dot. So overall, we do have some bearish pressure, but with the VWAP trying to come up, that red dot could get invalidated, so keep an eye on that. Over on Bitcoin, we're pretty much within our flags still. We pushed into it last night. We are coming slightly down, nothing too exciting. Stochastic is starting to get a little bit of a bullish push, but it looks like it could flop over as well. RSI is pretty flat. Our VWAP is struggling to break through the neutral, so if the VWAP rejects here, we could set up a bearish trend. So we're pretty indecisive as we're flashing green. Our momentum is making higher lows, so that is good for us, but if we continue to push down with the VWAP, the momentum's likely to lose steam. Over on the 4 hour, we got a little bit of a bounce back in, and we are coming back down with a long upper shadow candle. If we get more red candles following this, that could be a bearish candle to bring us down. If you're not familiar with bearish candle patterns, we have resources in our Discord. Hit that link up above where you see. Just follow that URL, that'll take you to our Discord. Or click the link down below. While you're at it, hit the thumbs up and the subscribe if you haven't already. Our RSI is heading somewhat flat here on the 4 hour. Stochastic does want to make a bullish cross, but struggling. Our VWAP is starting to head under, and our money flow is trying to break through that bullish side, but it's struggling. If we don't get a strong green candle next, it's likely the money flow could roll over. If we set up a lower low on it, then we could get further bearish action. You see it just flipped a little more into the bearish side as we're pushing down. Our momentum could lose steam too as our VWAP is losing strength. If our VWAP breaks at 6.7, we could see it break down. Over on the 2 hour, we are in an up channel, and up channels, if you've watched our pattern videos, break you down. So this could push us down below the support level, and then we could see this pattern resume, as we would have failed a retest of support or resistance. This would be our support currently. It would become resistance if we fall under. Our stochastic is pushing under. RSI is coming under. Our momentum is coming under with a red dot, and our RSI is coming under into the bearish territory. Our money flow is struggling to get past that neutral and pushing under. So if the money flow doesn't flip to the bullish side, we could see continued sell-off, and we could see the money flow reject under. Over on the 1 hour, our RSI is overall struggling to get any kind of like a new high overall. We keep getting rejected around the 60 zone. So I would keep an eye on that. If we don't keep above it, we are kind of starting to kind of curl out. We could see a breakdown kind of like we did here, or we pushed away from it. We could have another leg down as we are pushing under it. Our stochastic is losing strength. Our momentum is coming down with a red dot as our VWAP's in the bearish territory. Our VWAP is trying to head toward the bullish territory, so we could get another push up if that does happen, if it makes a good cross into the bullish territory. However, that money flow is coming out. The money flow breaks this zone right around this 10-11 zone, then we could get some bearish action. If we break that, that'd be a resistance area. We could resume a bearish trend. If the VWAP were to roll over and the money flow comes out with it, that could be enough to set us up for that leg down, at which point we could see this flag play out, which could take us all the way down to about 0.3k, so bear that in mind. Over on the 1 day graph, we do have a weak candle here. Everything's pretty weak overall. RSI is pretty flat. Our stochastic wants to go bullish, so we are trying to get a little bit of bullish strength under this like 30 zone. At 30 is your bullish strength. If you're under 30, you have bearish strength. Our VWAP is trying to push through that neutral as well, but our money flow is kind of coming out, so we do have a little bit of sell pressure still. Our momentum is overall coming down. It is getting a green dot currently as our VWAP is trying to push bullish. But if we close with a red candle, that could be invalidated, and we could see a red candle tomorrow push us even lower. So the next candle is going to be pretty important overall. Over on the 4 hour, we haven't quite broken into our pattern like we did for Bitcoin, so we could still have a rejection of our pattern here. Our stochastic is pushing up. Our RSI is heading up. Our VWAP is trying to trend up. Our money flow is kind of rejecting away from that neutral. It's just riding under it. And our momentum's trying to get some bullish strength, but that VWAP's kind of struggling and stalling. Over on the 2 hour, we have some strong green candles, but we also have about equally as strong red candles. This is a bullish pattern, followed by a bearish pattern, followed by a bullish pattern. So just watch as we're getting all these goofy patterns forming, where we're getting bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. That's what's zigzagging us up in that uptrend. Again, uptrends are bearish trends. So Stochastic's rolling over. RSI is rolling over. Our VWAP and money flow are pushing in the bullish territory though. That's what's helping push us forward. Our momentum is carrying higher. So if the money flow and VWAP continue higher, we could see a continued push toward our resistance area, where we may try to break in it just like we did with Bitcoin. We do have that gap right around this 8.7 cent zone. So it could be possible we could fill a candle there just under that resistance and then reject from there and see continued bearish action. Our RSI is overall trending out on the 1 hour. Stochastic's overall trending out. We do have a bullish cross that wants to push us up and reclaim some bullish strength, but the RSI is overall curling out as we are diverging away here. Our momentum is trying to come up. Our money flow is trying to ramp up, so people are buying, but our VWAP's kind of starting to taper out, so that buying strength may be waning off. Over on Anchor, on the daily, we're pretty indecisive still. Could be setting up a bear flag here. RSI is pretty flat, Stochastic's pretty flat. Money flow is struggling to get past that neutral, but it is heading up, and VWAP's doing the same. Our momentum's trying to get a double green dot and wants to push higher, so we'll have to see if we can get a strong green candle tomorrow. Otherwise, if we get a red candle tomorrow, that could start our bearish trend and push it slower. Over on the 4 hour, we're overall pretty flat here. Stochastic's running up, our RSI is pretty flat. VWAP is overall getting lower highs. Our money flow is trying to head up, and our momentum's trying to come up because our VWAP keeps going bullish, but the VWAP's getting lower highs, so we could start a bearish trend if we break under and form a new low. Over on the 2 hour, we have a manipulation X that brought us down. We are trying to rebound from it, filling a gap. So if we fill this gap and then pull away from it, it's likely we could get another leg down. You know how Anchor loves its gaps. RSI is heading up, Stochastic's about to make a bearish cross, and our VWAP is trying to trend up. Our money flow is overall getting higher highs and higher lows, so it is in a slight bullish trend. So if it breaks over this neutral, we could get a bullish push up since that VWAP's in the bullish territory as well. Our momentum does want to come up, but overall, we could have some sell pressure too since the Stochastic's starting to lose strength. So just watch out if it breaks under 30 and other indicators start to curl. Over on the 1 hour, we have a reversal arrow, so would be a little worried. We do have this gap up. That reversal could mean we could trend up for a slight bit, but we do also have a gap down. So that could set us up to fill the gap up and then reject, make a lower high, fill the gap down, and possibly continue down from there. So watch out for that scenario. Our Stochastic is trying to make a bullish cross, so that could help us push up toward that gap. Our RSI is trying to head up, our VWAP's trying to head up, our money flow is trying to head up, so we do have that bullish strength right there with the VWAP and money flow. And our momentum is trying to come up since our VWAP is pushing bullish as well. So the momentum is in the bullish trend. Over on XRP, again, what I try and say every night, or at least here and there, is even if you don't necessarily invest in all these coins, it may be a good idea to look at these other coins TA and see what's going on with them, because you may get more different experiences quicker. Our RSI is going pretty flat. Stochastic's heading down, our VWAP's trying to head up, our money flow is trying to head up, our momentum wants to come up with a green dot as our VWAP's pushing bullish. Our money flow is not too strong though, so I wouldn't get too hopeful for like a bullish trend up. We are somewhat rejecting away from resistance, so we're a little iffy right now. Over on the 4 hour here, you can see that break in and then that push down. Our stochastic's rolling out, RSI's heading out, our momentum's starting to curl out, our VWAP's overall getting slightly lower highs and lower lows, so we could form a bear trend. So if we break this neutral with that money flow maintaining the bearish action, we could see another leg down and fill these wicks. And that would also push us lower. Let's see if I can get it to fill that value area low on our point control right here. This is a shorter trend, so this is actually filling from up here to down here. So that is not the same one as this bigger one. Can't get the bigger one, but the point control there would be down here. So if we do push lower, we would trend into this kind of support resistance area where I warned about around that 46, 47. So that gives you a little more confluence of that being a potential support zone. But if we lose that support zone, then that other area around that 38 cent zone could be retested, especially with that big wick. Wicks are just like the gaps you see on Anchor. They tend to fill. So if you want to see like some gaps and how they work, go to Anchor, do some previous analysis. The 1 and 2 hours, loved the gap lately, and we covered them quite extensively. Our stochastic's overall pushing down. We do have a bearish cross and a bearish divergence as price is trending up, and our stochastic is trending down. Our momentum is coming up overall, but is in danger of pushing down as our VWAP's in the bearish territory. RSI is struggling to maintain any kind of strength above this 55-60 zone, so if we get rejected here, we could trend out. Our VWAP is in the bearish trend. We are struggling to break under this -2, which is a pretty decent bounce zone for it. So if we do pull up and go into the bullish territory, we could get further pushes up. However, if we reject away and start trending lower, we could see another breakdown, especially if the money flow pulls under with it. And momentum has a bearish divergence, stochastic has a bearish divergence, so we have those working against us on the lower time frame here. The 1 hour, stochastic's pushing down, RSI is pretty flat. Our VWAP is trying to head up toward that neutral. We are about a -2. If we don't manage to push higher, then we could get rejection here. We are at a zone where it has like support resistance. Again on the 1 hour, so pretty similar to the 2 hour. If we pull away here, we could see further lows. However, if we push higher and get a strong bullish cross, we could get further trend up and possibly retest that higher like 54, 55 cent zone. Over on Algo for the daily, we are in our flags still. We are trying to bounce off support, nothing too great though. Our stochastic's starting to round off. Our RSI is starting to push away, pretty flat. Our VWAP's pretty flat. Our money flow is trying to come up. Our momentum's trying to come up, but if that VWAP loses strength, the momentum will push on. Over on the 4 hour, we have a reversal arrow, so we were in an uptrend. The reverse of that is going to be a bear trend, so we could push down from here. Stochastic's trying to push up. Our RSI is overall going pretty flat here. Our momentum is trying to push up. Our VWAP is getting lower highs currently. It did bounce off that neutral, and the money flow is trying to break through neutral. So if the VWAP maintains strength here, we could see the money flow flip bullish. If that happens, we could get a leg up toward this resistance. However, if we see the VWAP pull under and the money flow starts to trend away, we're likely going to break our support and see the flag play out. Over on the 2 hour, we are in a slight uptrend, so that is the bearish pattern like we've been saying tonight. See, here's our highs, here's our lows. RSI is pretty flat, stochastic's heading down. Our momentum is struggling to get higher highs, so we have a slight divergence here. Our stochastic has a divergence as well. Our money flow is struggling to get past this 8, so if we don't get past this 8, we could see a rejection. And then if we break through this neutral, we would have a bear trend. Our VWAP is struggling to get past 6, so if it doesn't gain some strength from here, that could push lower as well. If that pushes with our money flow, then it's likely we'll get a push down. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic's trying to push up, so that's trying to keep our RSI alive. Our money flow is ramping up pretty decently, and our VWAP's staying in the bullish trend. So we do have a pretty decent bullish trend going on. We had a reversal arrow that tried to bring us down and we bounced. So the 1 hour is a little hopeful that we could get a continued move up. Our momentum is coming up and our stochastic has that bullish cross, so those could help push us up. But we also have a bearish divergence, so just keep an eye on that. If the stochastic doesn't get a new high as price tries to continue up, we could get a rejection. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night. Again, hit the like and I'll see you in the Discord.